How is it that after I choose to follow God, that I become more anxious, more depressed, more crazy? I was like, isn't this backwards? I felt like an alien, foreign in my mind and my body and my thoughts. He said, Yana, beliefs are the way that you make sense of life. So when I start to erase those beliefs, what do you have left? What do you do when the thing that you founded your life on slowly starts to become erased? This is why I felt insane and crazy and depressed and anxious. There was no belief there, so nothing made sense. He said, Deanna, I needed to create space. I needed to make room so that when I walked with you towards your darkest fears, you realized that they were not as scary as they seem with me by your side. It meant addressing the false identities that I had conjured up to protect my heart from the pain. He said it meant relieving you of attachments that you formed through childhood trauma. I'm wiping the slate clean, and it will feel painful, but the only reason that it feels painful is because you are slowly detaching to beliefs that you once possessed as your identity. When you are no longer attached to those beliefs, it feels like your identity is fading, but what's truly happening is I'm creating space. Together, we're making room for me to show you the truth. He said, it's okay to not feel attached to something. It's okay to not experience that sense of belonging that you're used to. It doesn't mean that you don't belong. It just means that you don't belong to that pain anymore. What you're experiencing is freedom to form a new belief, to adopt a new identity, to set course to a new outcome. When you feel like you're starting to sink, or you can't express what you feel to the people that are also tied to the bondage that you were once tied to, do not fear and don't worry. Sometimes being in the will of God doesn't feel like light. We assume that it's rainbows and sunshine and purpose and meaning, but sometimes the will of God can feel desperate, or sometimes the will of God can feel dark. It can feel lonely. Sometimes being in the will of God feels like you're being exposed or like you're taking a step backwards while everything else and everyone else is progressing. Sometimes being in the will of God can feel like you're losing, but something tells you to just hold on. You won't have to tell yourself you're a certain type of person because of the pain that has boxed you in. You won't have to take commands from your pain. You won't have to respond to life with offense because your new identity will speak to the compassion that you'll have for others who would do better if they knew better. He said, I never intended for you to adopt the insufficiencies of others as your identity. You aren't the result of your pain, so just hold on. We're creating space for a new identity and a new outcome to emerge.